Hey there, welcome back to another episode of Talking Cinema. And this time I'm just talking about why I believe Christopher Reeve is Superman. And not it's not really about why I believe he is the only definitive version of Superman on film. That's not what this is about. Why I believe Christopher Reeve is Superman in real life, or was Superman in real life, because sadly he's no longer with us. In fact, he hasn't been with us for a long time. And there's not a day that goes by that I don't miss him. Because personally, Christopher Reeve has been a really big inspiration to me personally, and in a way, my hero. When I was a kid, I was not doing very good, to say the least. Okay. I had a very strong case of Asperger's syndrome, which is no longer considered a form of autism. It's no longer considered a part of the autism spectrum. It was, though, when I was growing up. And I was nowhere near close to where I am right now. I was not able to really socially interact with people. I was angry all the time, and I didn't know why. Throwing chairs around. I didn't know when I was doing things right or wrong. Uh, I kept getting kicked out of classes by teachers. I had a hard time making friends. I was picked on. I was made fun of. I was really sensitive to touch and to hear loud noises. I was afraid of all kinds of things, including even walking off a curb. It was tough. I would have to admit I had a really rough childhood. I had a hard time. But there was a class I was taking, some computer class, and pretty much it was asking you to make a PowerPoint or to make a speech about who your hero is. And I did one about Chris Reeve when he was still alive at that time. And since then, things have changed. Now it's a combination of things. It's a combination of course, all the really wonderful, great help that I got when I was going through a hard time in my life. My parents made sure my mom and my grandmother, who I was also living with at the time, made sure that I was in the right situation at the right time with the right people. In Lake Oswego High School, I had all the opportunity and all the help that I could have possibly asked for, from therapists, from people who were, in junior high and through high school. I had a lot of people who were there to help me. I wouldn't be where I am right now without them either. With these aides and with the teachers and with the learning center and with all these things. I'm forever grateful to that. To people like Miss Gray, who, helped me a lot. She's technically a personal assistant for me and for my needs. And also, I have to admit, yes, I did go to a therapist. I went to a therapist. I went to other therapists. I went to, this other therapist lady. I don't remember her name, but my mom would take me to her. I went through both a couple different child psychologists until I settled upon Dr. Conant Norville, who is and has been an absolute blessing to me. I wouldn't be where I am without him either. But it's also in big part thanks to Christopher Reeve. Because I will always appreciate and respect him for being, in a way, a hero when I needed it the most. It was thanks to him that in that project that I worked on when I was a kid, and that's the reason why I started to build myself back up. And then there's other people like Rocky and Stallone and so forth and so on. But Chris Reeve was the first one I did anything about, that I thought long and hard about, that I did research on, that I thought about, okay, you know, he was the first name to pop to my head when it comes to who's your hero. And it said it can't be your dad, it can't be your mom, it can't be any family member. And I was like, Christopher Reeve, because he embodied everything that you could ask for out of a hero. Not only was he the perfect casting choice to play Superman, but he is Superman because he is Superman in real life. He was Superman. He still is Superman to me. He still is a Superman in real life. Even though he's no longer with us, he has a lasting legacy that still lives and breathes to this day. I'll never forget Christopher Reeve, and I know I'm not the only one. Not only for his performance as Superman, but for the great good deeds that he did for people in reality. For the great things that he did in reality. For people who needed it. For people who were in his situation, who were paralyzed, and all the money that he helped raise with his foundation, and then with other people like myself who weren't paralyzed, but I might as well have been, let's say, socially paralyzed, or, in that aspect, I definitely was. But it's thanks to his story of his perseverance and his will and his drive and his faith that things were going to get better in his life, even amongst the most extreme circumstances of being paralyzed from the neck down, from the day it happened, from the day until he died. And of course, he did have some inspiration from his friends and, friends like Robin Williams that helped him persevere. But once he got that drive, he never lost it until the day he died. And for someone who had been paralyzed from the neck down to keep fighting and to keep believing, that was such an inspiration to somebody like me at a young age who was going through a really tough time in their lives, who didn't know what was going on, didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. I saw something finally. I saw a glimmer of hope. And I kept reaching and I kept going and I kept fighting for it. And I've gotten it now. And I've reached that moment. I've jumped over those hurdles in my life. I've made all these accomplishments. And a big part of the inspiration, the big part of the reason why I was able to strive for those goals is because of Christopher Reeve. So that's why he will always be Superman. He is Superman. Not he was Superman, he is Superman. He's a hero. He embodies everything that the Man of Steel stands for. Truth, justice, the American way, and then some. Superman, from what I imagine Superman to be, is a person who has all of these great qualities, other than just his superpowers. He's someone who embodies the best of man, the best of mankind, the best of us, and somebody that all of mankind can look up to. And Chris is an example of that. And he definitely was when he was still alive. And he still is, even though he's been gone for many years. So yeah, that's why I personally feel that Christopher Reeve is Superman. You can feel free to disagree, fine with me. Um, who's your Superman? Because I know Chris is mine, and he always will be. That's something. I mean, I had never met him personally, and I really wish I did. But I will always have that connection with Christopher Reeve. He was the first real person that really gave me hope and really made me feel that things could get better and that my life is not going to stay this way. It's not going to stay away, I'm not going to be confused all the time. I'm not going to be wondering what to do. I'm not going to always get bullied. I'm not going to always get picked on. That there's going to be a time in my life where I'm going to make things better, that I'm going to get over these hurdles, and I'm going to graduate from high school. I'm going to go through college. I'm going to get these things, and I'm going to reach out for that brass ring, and I'm going to get it. That light at the end of the tunnel is there, and I'm gonna reach it. I'm gonna walk right through it. And yeah, that's definitely who Chris is and was for me. So anyway, thanks for watching this little bit of drama, this kind of a dramatic video. I just wanted to share this with you. I know I made it a little bit personal, but if I can give any inspiration to anyone else who's dealing with the sort of things that I've dealt with, or, otherwise, that's what this is for. And it's just an explanation, why I personally feel Christopher Reeve is Superman. And he is my Superman in film too, because I honestly think he's done the best job so far. I don't think Henry Cavill has come close yet. Um, in terms of portraying everything that I personally want out of the Man of Steel in a movie. So he is my Superman when it comes to being Superman on screen as well. But he's my Superman in real life. He's my Superman on, in fiction, in on screen. I even think of Chris Reeve when I read Superman comics. I mean, that's how much of an impact Christopher Reeve has made on me personally when it comes to Superman and everything Superman related. But anyway, what are your thoughts? Who's your Superman in real life and on the big screen? And anyway, thank you for watching. And as always, I will see you guys later. See ya.